Turn this off. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. I can put this chat up here. I think I gotta just find the sweet spot for this guitar. I'll try to keep the fourth wall from opening up on the reflection of this thing. I hate that song. Gonna make it into a different one though. Went to Pennsylvania. Went to a rally at the park. Saw a guy there with a briefcase. I didn't think twice, no I didn't. Found my transporter. Everything slips by me. President making the statement, telling me what I wanna hear, telling me that I'm free. Then all of a sudden I heard some gunfire. Now Trump's face is bleeding. It might be jelly, some kind of jam. Could have been some makeup when they out on time. What a prison. I don't know. But I'll tell you something kind of funny. Not really. Penna means face. I'm stopping that. Anyway, hopefully that sounded better and it wasn't cutting in and out. But that's just proof that I don't have a stick in my arse. Okay, here we go. Let me get satiated here. That's too funny. I made up some other lyrics earlier, but I don't remember them. So if you guys keep up with the news, if you inclined to be a Shemiramoth like me, and you watch the news and you look for things of this nature. So, you know how these words just seem to describe everything? Well, whether what happened yesterday was fake or not, they claim someone died, so it could be real, and it's just interesting that it would mark the entire right half of Trump's entire face, because your face stretches all the way to the back. If you ever seen the movie The Mask, when Jim Carrey puts the mask on, it stretches all the way to the back. It has to consume the whole head, because that's the whole thing. Someone might be able to recognize your ears, the back of your head, stuff like that. A whole mask is your whole head. And so the whole right side, which is of honor, is actually what's shot. And if it was a real shot, which seems like it is, but like jokingly, you could just put jelly there. I don't know. They know that's inevitable usually. That's why like people some candidates look so nervous. So it could be real. I don't know what it is. All I know is that the words manifest it, and it's weird how I was talking just the day before. So it happened yesterday. Day before that, I was doing the two streams Trump dimensional syndrome. And I think I might have mentioned Penna, but Penna is face. So he allegedly got shot in the face in Pennsylvania. It means Penn's Woods. So the woods of the face, or face the woods. And then it made me think of Luke when it says, "Now that axe is laid to the root of the tree, therefore any branch that doesn't produce fruit, good fruit, is lopped off and thrown into the fire." So it's weird how penna is also to turn, because you have to turn so that someone can see your entire face. It's what the AI has trouble with. The deep fake. So it has to, they usually put it on somebody who already has a head that looks like the person. And if you have a similar face, that helps. But what was I going to look up here? Hebrew. I don't know if I have penna in here. Nope. Let's see. I'm going to find it. Penna. This is just pe. Pe is your mouth. My penna is your face. Your mouth is the most important part, but we get into it. Let's see. Para, no, penna. Give me penna. Where is penna? Okay. So you would look up on the Abarim Publications website that I've posted before. For the name Penile. Pen is top. It's the top of the forest, but penna is face. It's why right here, what you're in your mind, where the mark of the beast or the mark of God's name goes, and what comes out of your mouth are very important. That's why that's your face. Let's see here. Scroll down to Nile. So you get pineal. Come on. So Penn's forest. The forest, pineal. You have to look past. You have to use your fourth dimensional sight. That's what a third eye is supposed to be. But come on, where is it? It's Nile. I don't think it matters. All right, so pana is to turn. It means face. Come on, let's see. All right, let me go over that right now. Capture. Yes, it shows it. I can just scoot myself right here. Okay. Pana. Okay. Put the chat up here. Just in case anybody wants to say anything, but I mean, if I was listening to this for the first time, I'd be pretty silent too. Pana means turn toward, or rather bend or incline. He's talking about your shape of your head. Not simply a swirl or tilt, but rather a deliberate alteration of a course or progression toward a newly declared and desired objective. Oh man, this has so much in it. I can't go over it. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Our verb, turning towards, turning away, turning about. Okay. Towards, inside, within. This is multidimensional. Penini meaning inner. It's telling you, you have to look at the charts I showed, listen to what I'm saying, and realize why these words are connected, meaning inner, because your mouth, it goes inside. But this is a very, very complex language that's also simple. It seems if you learn enough of it. Um, that is very, very interesting. This is all interesting. I'm gonna put all these in the Telegram. Remember that. So anyway, that's just to make my point. So Pennsylvania is literally the face of the woods. To the face of the woods, being at the top of the woods. He was at the top podium. He's standing above everybody. Face. It's like you can't make this stuff up. It's very, very strange. So um people don't get. You see, this is why people don't like. The reason why a lot of people don't like this information is because it scares them. It makes them know that uh, their life, they don't have as much control as they think. They make choices, and you're judged on the choices, but in your faith, which is a choice, but you don't have a lot of control over your um, destiny. You strive towards it. You have to find it out because you didn't write it. Let's see, divine. Oh, okay, this is rum. Shemiramoth. So, that Trump stuff is very interesting. Let me see if I forgot something. Because I put something on this here. That's weird. Every time it uses sends every time it sends an internet signal, I can hear a little bit of crackling. That's always interesting. Okay, yep. So now I'm just gonna go over pardon. So when the pastor was talking, and I thought of Tala, which we already technically went over with Talise. You see how these things just manifest? I say all these words either to friends or family members or on this stream, and then I go to church and all those words manifest. And then I think of them and find out even more things. Like the Tola worm I already knew, but then I just broke it down linguistically. So now I'm going to go over pardon, to pardon somebody. This is English, remember, but if you Hebraize it, it still says what it is. So para and door with an n on the end. So it'd be par dorn or par doll. Because there's not, I don't really think there's a Don. Don would, in any way, Don would be a chief. So chief order, pardon. Chief has to do that, I would assume. So even if you take pieces of it you can take pieces of it in Greek and Latin, and you can do all kinds of things. This is like an open secret of language. It's pretty amazing. All right, so para means on the side of or next to. So when you get pardoned, it's because a chief is on your side. Paradon, but it's also door, and this is where it gets interesting with Passover, the blood on the door, the lintels of the door, the two sides and the top. That's specific with what I'm going to mention later. So I think that's it. So it expresses immediate vicinity or proximity, either in a static sense, proximate. Let's see. So it's going to be more interesting if you read it all, but I don't have time to just go through every single thing. Categories, body grammar, case, body person, proceeds from that person. This is describing literally like the rigmarole of what takes place when you receive a pardon, like how to get a pardon. Paradise, that's interesting, is construction from para. There's a Persian loan word related, peri meaning abundance. So that's interesting. It's related to abundance and paradise because it's a second chance when you're pardoned. And then when you're pardoned by God through Messiah, you go to paradise. So that's very, very, very interesting. So para, where's the door part? Parta, and then n. The n can be the same as Anna. Where's the Anna? Let me see here. Oh, never mind. It's this one. Yeah. Answer, respond, even testify. So it has to be a response. It's a response. So this is related to it too. So it's pardon. Pardon. It's pardon. There's, yeah, I really do love this though, because it's like nobody can. Who can argue against this? There's para again. Oh, because I'm done with this. So the duh part here. It's a hanging. It's supposed to be a door. Hang low. Hanging down a mine shaft is door of mine shaft. A frame is what a door is too. So you have the bottom threshold, you have the top, and you have the doorposts. Low, weak, poor, thin. That's the frame you put in. Next to the frame, there's like a thin. If you ever made a door or seen how a door is made up, this all makes sense. Bundle of hair. That's interesting. Nearly hangers. So something that hangs on it. You're hanging on that pardon. You're hanging on it to arrive, because it has to arrive even if it's signed. Because the person who's supposed to execute the punishment or whatever they're supposed to execute is supposed to read the pardon. If he doesn't read the pardon, he's not responsible for what happens. It's thought to mean draw. So dala, draw. So a pardon, drawing somebody out of ana, humiliation or poverty or something. All this stuff is in here. But it has to do with the door. That's why I thought it was interesting that pardon even has to do with the door and Passover, putting the blood on it, the Adam on the door, Daleth. Yeah, I mean, it all connects. Being door, rather door of my lips. That's very interesting. Because it's really speech. Writing down is just a secondary thing, because speech couldn't be put across long distances until the internet and all that stuff, and the telephone lines and all that. Seems plausible that hanging entrance, a veil, solid doors. Oh, it could even be the veil entrance. Wow. Hanger. Say even idol, something you hang on the wall a lot of times too. Dalet, the door of a house. A dalet in the Doctor Who is this thing that comes through a door, a window, a portal in time, a door, and it's called a dalet. And it keeps saying delete, delete, door of the house. It exterminates. It's supposed to be Judgment Day. And Doctor Who fights against it because he is Doctor Who? The devil. If he said it was a devil, nobody would want to listen to him. Well, not everybody would want to listen to him. Some people would. But if he's just doctor, then it's totally fine, huh? Anyway, broken down to door your mouth, door your face, door your face. It gets back to face again. So the on the side of the door of the afflicted can also be a way to read this. A pardon is when you think somebody's innocent. That's why you pardon them. It shouldn't be because they give you money or anything. Especially if you're like a porn star or something. Somebody gives you money because they don't want you knowing. You don't want you telling people that you slept with them, but you use campaign money to do it, and that kind of gets you in a mess. With your penna your face. Anyway, you can tell Egyptians mess with things too, because literally, Panache is the mouth of the brazen serpent. And now the people who try to control are Egyptian and they say penis. It's a panache. The Egyptians see it as a snake and stuff like that. Even though it still makes sense, it's a very Egyptian. I'm sure there's a Hebrew word for it, and it means something a lot better, and it ties in because Scripture is all about procreation. This language is all about procreation and manifesting. Okay, so a door here. So pardon. So now, and para, pe. So even your mouth pardons. Let me see. Now, what do I have this? Pardon, Passover. Okay. That's not showing. Nope. So why do I have this? Sorry, this is what happens when you do things live. So Passover, so Pasha. Where did I put Pasha at? Here we go. Pasha occurs 3 times. To pass over, to skip. Skip over something. Because it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, if somebody did certain sins in the past, but, you know, their faith and then their deeds after they repented far outweigh it, then it's like, yeah, this one had faith. Faith is above all things. But also your deeds are a reflection of your faith. Okay. See, and it's also talking about the people who are left out, neglected. Talks about the blind and the lame. Or meaning skin. Blind. See, extra skin. Yeah, all this is going to be related to things you have to do in Passover, taking the skin off the animal, butchering it, cooking it. No storage that leads to a similar shortage that leads to similar disability as blindness caused by an extra skin. So Passover, it's passing over the people who Egypt passed over. So the people that Egypt didn't treat right are really who gets passed over. And Pasha, Para, what was the Para again? Draw out or something. No. On the side of I forgot why I made that point. I'm gonna keep going. So it's talking about a shortage. So it's because fasting is really supposed to have you remember the poor, because that's what true fasting is, according to Messiah, is feeding the poor and helping the motherless and the orphan, the fatherless, the widow, stuff like that. Being like pure out, like a childish in the sense of that incompleteness due to being young. So it's kind of like a fresh state. So when Passover is mirroring what happened with Messiah. So people who follow Messiah's message, they're a new creature. So now you got to relearn everything if you're a new creature. See, all these things tying together. Shalem, complete, peace, unbroken, whole. This is really cool. That's why you're not supposed to break any of its bones. Okay. Yeah, it's good for that one. Oh, this is the one. So this is going to take a bit. I'm going to make sure to go over this. I was reminded of it too, so I can't forget it. mRNA. mRNA. RNA, is myrrh, or with the S on the front, Smyrna. So let's go over Smyrna. Oh, never mind. Let me. Oh, there's two. Oh. Smyrna. Well, where's the alabaster? Because the alabaster has to do with it too. That is something. Where is alabaster? Okay. Because it has to do with alabaster. It'll probably pop up and I'll just figure it out when it pops up. So Marar, one huge wait, in Hebrew of the Bible, one huge one and one tiny one. There's one root and form Mara, and Mur was obviously related to foreign meanings. Marar means to be bitter, bitterness. It's also where Mary comes from, bitterness or rebellion, and there's a whole thing with that. I don't want to go over it, but there was actually a picture that I saw, and I think I showed it in a past stream. Those are gone now. Where they were sticking a certain thing into somebody's arm, and it was right into the forehead of Mary because it had a tattoo of Virgin Mary, and it was right in her forehead. So these things will pop up in the news during the happening that happened between 2019 and 2022. Some would say it's still happening. So this has to do with it because remember mRNA, Smyrna. Mar meaning bitter, Mar Lago. Bitter scholar actually. Lago would be Lamed. Lamed and Ga. If it's Garar, then that's to drag away. Wow. Mar meaning bitter, Mora meaning bitterness. Because I think myrrh probably tastes better. It sure smells like it probably tastes better. It smells good, but it smells like it would taste better. I don't think I've gotten any in my mouth before. Myrrh. Bitterness, bitter thing, like wormwood. Aurora meaning bitter thing, gall or poison. Aurora meaning gall, bitter. Bitterness, bitter, blah, 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 blah. Bitter juice instead of beetle juice. Marker or signpost is related to it. To be stiff or erect. That can't be a side effect because it actually does the opposite, I've heard. The jabby jab. So this one, tamur, means marker or signpost. So mark. I put myrrh in my toothpaste. Is it bitter? Probably bitter, I guess. It's good for your teeth, like fluoride. More. Oh, the myrrh won't hurt you though. I'm just making jokes. Because of the bitterness, and there's fluoride is bitter. Denote a bitter or fragrant spice. Okay, sprinkle. So I had to do with the temple and the temple's anointing oil. This is very important. Shamar. Oh, that's weird because shamar is part of the Shemiramoth. It has to do with marathon, Greek battle, or the Greeks' place that they had that battle, a marathon. Wow. More is spelled identical, mur meaning to change. Oh, new normal. The change has to do with bitterness. It's very interesting. Oh, it's an unusual flavor. Myrrh plays a role in the story. Oh yeah, myrrh plays a role in an important story of Messiah, and it's made additionally obvious when Nicodemus brings an astounding 100 liters to Messiah's barrel of myrrh. So this is what he was anointed when he was buried, and something else. I need to find the one on alabaster if it doesn't say it here. Marar means to pass by or flow, like blood. See, mar meaning drop, meaning bitter. So it's a bitter drop. So mRNA, mRNA, Smyrna. It's a bitter drop. Mara, meaning contentious. Interesting, because people are contentious whether to get it or not, and people who don't want to get it, they're mad at them, thinking they're going to die. Rebellious against disobedient or disobedient towards. Very interesting. Marar being bitter. Mara. 45 times in the Bible. 45. I wonder what the 45th one is. If it describes the 45th president. The large majority, blah, blah, okay. Masculine noun, meaning rebellion. Oh, geez, the mental lawlessness isn't revealed until the rebellion happens first. I wonder if someone has to get shot in the face for that. More means to change, alter, or exchange. And it obviously looks similar to the previous words, to change. Okie dokie. Marar is a mere static situation of certain intensity, but serves as an incitement to or consequence of change. Okie dokie. This might just cause the last rebellion. Might have to do with the Church of Smyrna too. So think about that and read about that after this. All right. It occurs half a dozen times. Connects fear to chains. Explains that if one exchanges a good sacrificial animal for a bad one, then both of them would become. Wait. Explains that if one exchanges a good sacrificial animal for a bad one, then both of them become. That's interesting. Oh, it's saying it reverse something. So exchange. There's an exchange happening. That's interesting. It's taking out and it's putting in. It's meiosis. If only people who have watched my past stuff will know what I'm talking about and what I'm referring to. I saw this. Saw this years ago. It's taking out and putting in. It's sharing genetics. What genetics are they sharing? This is pending. So what else am I doing here? I'll gotta look up the alabaster. Because it's related, alabaster is somehow related to it. And you'll find out when I say it. Just trust me. Oh, Shemiramoth. I forgot to do the shamar. Shamar. And shem. And this one. Why is shamar right here? Why do I have two shamars? Guard. Okay, so let's start on Shemiramoth. And then I'll see if there's any cracks I gotta fill. Ooh, back hurts. Okay, Shem means name. So we're gonna get into just the basics. Shem, because that's important. He's the namer. Not just name, but namer. He got a renown, he got a name, but he was a namer. Because because of Noah, he kept to the tradition of language of Adam. They kept the language clean. You can't actually corrupt the Bible because it's made of a language that can't corrupt. Even the corrupted version of something would still mean the same thing. If you've seen what I've been doing in the last videos, it's proof. Shem means name. Let's see, it has something to do with Arabic. Verb meaning to mark or brand. Interesting. Verbal mark. He decides who rises and falls because he can literally name them. So it's related to the heavens. What does it say in Job? Can you name all the ordinances of the heavens and can you declare their authority on earth? Isn't that interesting? It's either a natural sky or the mental sphere, and also the boat of Elohim. It could be all of those. All just as real as each other. Shem may be hard to establish, but politically spoken, the relationship is clear. And the names are applied to rivers, animals, cities, humans. So all these things are what he knew about a lot of these things. Adam named everything. So if these words describe everything, even in corrupt language like Egyptian, then that means this is Adam's language. And there's nothing anybody can tell me is tell me it's not. I don't understand. Like, nobody can argue this. All right, onoma is name. Pneuma is spirit. Interesting how name and spirit in Greek sounds very similar. It's the reason why words sound similar. Name may be passed on to mark ownership or strong relation. Extensive experience in a mission. So this is all what I have experienced, but also what I like to manifest. Sham means here. Sham means here. So someone who's present. They're very present. Let's see. They're not somewhere else. They're not in some other fantasy world. They're in the real world. Because Shem understood his world, what it looked like, dimensional stuff. Everything I'm saying right now, he knew that stuff. Verbs of motion, it means thither. So to go about. He's an explorer. He's a I'm an explorer. I'm a pioneer. I'm a human. I'm alive. And I'm cool. That's Shem. Isn't that funny? He meaning of there. Min vorm Shem means from there. And when, etc. So that's really cool. So Shem is namer. Brander. Brand you. I'll tell you what your name means. Shamar means to keep or to guard. Those are things I've done and what I want to continue doing. Observe or give heed. To exercise great care over. It's used to watch out in the garden, watch out for a brother, a herd, a house, etc. It's used in the sense of paying heed to the commands and ordinances, the way of the Lord, one's own ways, general understanding, also storing, preserving food, money or goods, knowledge, socks. Socks are important. People don't understand how important socks are. Knowledge or anger. Ooh, don't want to carry anger. Shomra means guard. Ra means to go down. Like the sun is a setting sun. Ra in Hebrew is to compartmentalize and associate and various other things. Shemira means eyelid. God tests mankind with his eyelids. Doesn't mean he closes his eyes. It's talking about something else. With guarding. He allows things and he disallows things. He allows bad things sometimes as a guard. Tests with his eyelids. Meaning night watch, shimmer. Ashmara or Ashmoret meaning night watch. Mishmar meaning prison. Or guard, because I know I might end up being in prison one day because of this. They'll make something up. I don't know how they can find anything, but they'll make something up. But you can pay your taxes or something. I don't know. Guarding of one's heart literally means with the function of watching, keeping watch. Okay, where it means dregs or sedimentary residue. So does kupa. Kupa means the stuff that's at the bottom of a pot. So you got Koopa all over your face. Boppity boopy. Okay, Shemar means dregs, residue, old aged wine. Ooh, yeah, baby. This language is old aged wine and new wine. You could sip it all. You could sip the oldest wine, this, which is this. You can sip the vintage wine, which is the Greek. You can sip on the Latin, or you can just drink like kind of like the cheap Albertsons wine, red wine. That'd be English. But anyway, yeah, Americans don't speak the greatest language. Boo-hoo. So when next time you want to tell that Mexican that America has to speak English, just know he has a more beautiful language than you. I'm just a messenger. Shamir, denoting some kind of wild and unpleasant vegetation. translated with thorns. That might, I've already experienced that, but you know, that's a negative I can live with because I can just keep mowing that stuff. Um, oh, like Emery harder than Shamir have made your forehead. I've always resonated with that thing in Ezekiel. And that's why I'm even doing this because that's my calling, is part of my calling is Ezekiel. It says, uh, you shall tell these people whether they listen or not. It's very important. So it doesn't matter if anybody listens or not, even watches. I must say it. Shamor is a word for fennel. Ooh, maybe I should start eating fennel. Marathons comes that word covered with fennel. Because I think marathon was a big giant field, so it was a fennel field. Apparently I didn't care much for their fennel. My leg's falling asleep for some reason, so I gotta put it to the side here. Alright, covered with fennel. Using the colorful ports, so when it comes to names, stoic featured a huge mural of that battle. Mara, strength of either taste or clout. Okay, so this is shamar part. Oh, I gotta remember alabaster. Actually, let me look up alabaster really quick. Let me get that. I think Elishaba was the one that's related to alabaster, right? Elishaba. We're gonna march down to Pennsylvania Avenue. Drums a dirty line. Where is that? He got shot in the face, or maybe it was a jelly donut. Oh, good God, we're gonna march. Elishaba or something like that. Elishama? No, Shaba. Elishaba? Where's that? Come on, where do I get this alabaster at? This is really irritating me. Maybe I saved it. Where's the alabaster? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yep. Found it. Hallelujah. Yes. I found it. Alright, let's pull this back up. Boom, alabaster. Where was I? I did this shimmer though, right? Shamar. Politically inclined. If it looked at with poetically inclined. Oh, I thought I said politically. It's poetically. Okay, here we go. Ramon. Ramon. So Ramon. Ram. So Shem, Ram, Mut. Shamar, Ram, Mut. Shemiramoth. Even the death of the heavens, that's the apocalypse. That's crazy. All right, let me put the chat back on so I don't. Okay, I have an alabaster box, very pretty, like green turquoise. It's probably mixed with something because alabaster is white, so it's probably got something mixed with it. Let's see. Rum means to be high in several literal and figurative fashions. Anyway, to be high, either literal height, which is interesting because recently I've been in a plane the last year or so and been on really high mountains. It could be the height of pride or arrogance, though. That's why you gotta watch out with knowledge like this, that you don't do that. So it's to remind me. Rum meaning height, so getting high too. That's why the alcohol is called rum. Rome means high, so it's also Rome. But it's to name Rome's death to Shemiramoth. Anyway, meaning on high, meaning proudly, meaning high or high place. Throw down or shoot, or to beguile, deceive, or mislead. Because this is literally what they use to mislead everybody. So ramut meaning height or lofty stature. So a name and a lofty stature is Shemiramoth or Shemiramoth. Romam meaning praise. Uplifting, arising, poetic word meaning height. Condition offering. I did it because what was it? I think it was Amram or something like that. One of Shem's children, his name meant high, exalted, and it comes from this. And he had sons, and they were called like contemplation and wine press, writhing, as in a trance, seeing the future, and the other one was something else. I forgot what it was. Like basically like a trauma surgeon. So this name entails intelligent offspring, scientific offspring that can act scientifically. The good science, though. Rima meaning worm or maggot. That's very interesting. I am a worm and not a man. Hopefully that means that I'm going to have good manure and enough worms to fish. Okay, this is when it's related to death, though. To be wormy. To be wormy. Get away from a tight spot. You can't. It's hard to catch a worm. Squeeze out. But I'm a worm and not a man. I think that's why I liked it too. So literally intoxication too. Getting high. Those who know. Yields derivations have to do with elevation or else fresh oil. Wow. Ram means to rise. Rise up. Only once. Uh-oh. Zechariah 14:10. It's only once. Let me pull up Zechariah 14:10. Here we go. Zechariah 14:10. It's esv.org. Zechariah. The whole land shall be turned into a plain from Gibeah to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, but Jerusalem shall remain aloft on its site from the gate of Benjamin to the place of the former gate. So Benjamin is son of the right hand. The place of the former gates might be shattering Messiah. Messiah is the son of the right hand of the former gate, the Old Testament, because he's the new. He's always been the gate, though. He's the former and the new gate. To the corner gate and from the tower of Hananel. That's the grace of God, but some other stuff too. To the king's wine presses. Just talking about wine press. King's wine presses, that's a wrath. So this all foreshadows Messiah. You wouldn't think that verse foreshadows Messiah, but literally he says, because this is the challenge here. The power that this language has, you can use it for bad if you wanted to, but you have to hide it. See, I'm telling you it all and showing you where you can get it. So that's not magic. Magic would be not telling you and using these words to try to manifest and try to control somebody. So the wine press here, it's getting hot in here. I'm gonna have to end this in a bit. So that's where the only place this is used here. Where is the wine? The thing I was just... Here we go. Rise. Although some scholars state that even in this one occurrence should be ascribed the verb rum, meaning above. Ram, wild ox. This animal serves as a sign of strength. And that's the animal they put for the letter aleph, because supposedly it looks like an ox, I guess. Or the original word looked more like an ox. Aleph means to teach and produce thousands. A rising bull market. Oh, I wonder if I should invest in the stock market. It's funny because you can actually use these words to find out what stock to buy or sell. But you didn't hear that from me. Ramot meaning black coral. It's like, dude, uh, what's the movie? Back to the Future, where he has the book. Biff gets that book. It's like it's the Bible. It's like, oh, how do you know who's gonna win the race? It's like he kind of didn't. But you can have a good idea what horse might win by their name. Someone might name their horse with this knowledge. All kinds of things, but I don't want to get into that. So, a Ramot black coral used. Perhaps these corals are a method of their acquisition and the dive to bring them up. So diving is something to bring it back up. These are all things I want to manifest in my life. Citadel or palace. Ooh, I kind of feel like if I was able to, it'd be cool to try to build like an actual small castle, like a 2,000 square foot castle or a 3,000 square foot castle. That is a very, very small castle, by the way. It just sounds like a lot. Rimon, pomegranate. Ooh, pomegranates are really good. I gotta remember to eat those. Get some organic pomegranates. Rimon. Derive from rim meaning high thing, height. Maybe I'll grow an inch or two somehow with this name. I've been working out, so when you work out, sometimes you can grow an inch if it's helping your body. Pomegranates. No more pomegranates. Where is it? Idea of fruitfulness appropriate for Hera, marriage goddess. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good thing about marriage. A good marriage thing. Rhea belonged to the mother. This is very interesting, but this is a lot here. I'm not gonna go through. You can read it later. Blah blah blah. Ramon pomegranate. Okay, we get it. Jeez, I believe you. It's pomegranate. Look how much is in there just for freaking. All right, Matt. This is where you realize why Matayahu means gift of God, because Mat is actually a man who can take a life, meaning a soldier. So a soldier from God is a gift from God. That's why Mat can be gift. Okay, Mat and Mut. So this is the last Samira, Mat, Mut. They're officially not related, but the usages seem to overlap. So Mat is one of the few words for man, probably literally mortal. Man capable of combat. So mortal, and he can take your mortality. Adam is related to it. Oh, never mind. These are the different ones. Adam, Gibber, Enosh, and Ish are the other ones. Gibber is used in Isaiah 9:6, where they mistranslate it. He will be called Mighty God. It's actually Gibber El, which means mighty. It means Gabriel, mighty, valiant man of God. So the one thing they use, like the Trinitarians, they'll be like, "Oh, Isaiah 9:6. It's like where it calls him a valiant man of God. Yes, what do you mean? Anyway, Mut means to die or to kill, and is quite ubiquitous in scriptures. The Canaanites use this word for a name of their god of death in the underworld. Mut, because it means death watcher, or one who watches over the dead. I liked that part. Shemiramoth would be like one who watches over the dead or guards the dead. And that's what I'm doing with these names. Everybody who died, who's written in the Bible, I'm defending them. I'm watching over them. I'm guarding them right now by telling the truth of them in their language. Death is much part of life. as life is according to the gain nights. Well, I mean, yeah, because we have to die in order to. So yeah, that's true. It's a universal statement there. Hebrew thought death is the consequences of sin. Let me put the chat back. There we go. The Hebrew thought death is the consequence of sin on par with disease and poverty, so Mott never gained much popularity. Let's see. So it's also watching over sin, Torah, what Messiah says gets you to paradise, stuff like that. Mavet, meaning death or realm of death, opposite of life. Mamont, also meaning death. And Temuta, also meaning death. So muertas and cinco muertas, the 5 deaths. Why is it the 5 deaths in Jurassic Park? Because there's 5 dimensions. But Mamot, Mammon leads to death. Mammon is earthly possessions, or possessions that die at some point. Or when you die, you don't take them with you. So these are the names related to it, as or Maveth. So I think that's it. I went over para. I went over the. Pa. Your. Oh, pardon. The in it could be this too, meaning city, because usually pardon comes from a city where the court is. Because usually you develop a city and community before you even do anything judicial, so that makes sense. And then I already went through what year and year is in another episode, so I won't redo that. You can read it later. Let's see this one. What is this? Oh, alabaster. That's what I gotta do. That's the last one here. Pana. That's why finesse is like if you have finesse, it's usually like dancing, turning around, swirling. But finesse is to make manifest, or like a flash of light. So that's interesting. Let me go to the next one here. Oops, what is this? Alabaster. Here's the alabaster. All right, so just alabastron, and they're gonna show over this whole thing why it's related to Smyrna. And I have to go quickly because I'm already at an hour here. Alabastron describes a flask or a vase made of alabaster. And remember, you can read this later. So it's talking about anointing. Smyrna. SMRY RNA. SMY RNA. Anyway, the vessel has to do with pneuma, fragrance, spirit. So there's a spirit. It really has to do with pregnancy and childbirth and the underworld. Wow. Okay, I'm sweating a lot, by the way. I need to really make this go fast because I'm going to pass out. House of Man. Greek poet. Alaba meaning ink. Interesting with the black goo, if you know about black goo symbolism. Likely an origin, a lot of word term, but export authority. Copious amounts of ink. Bills, receipts. Thought to be a modified form. Ink chief. Arab. Let's see. Remember the whole respiratory whatever that was going on in the Middle East for like decades before the happening even happened in 2019. They've been doing that whole thing in the Middle East for like 20, 30 years before any of it happened in the US, by the way. So all of a sudden when we are out of Afghanistan, we're done over there. They come over here and do it over here. And it means to crisscross because Arabs are nomads. And they crisscross the desert. Aster meaning star. AstraZeneca. This is not a coincidence. means a star. Which star? Luciferus. Alaba meaning ink. It's interesting how Allah and Alaba sound similar in its ink and writing the word Bible. Oreb meaning raven. Quoth the raven nevermore. mRNA. Quoth the raven nevermore. Will I see my Lenore? She's the purity. He's damned to hell. So, quoth the raven nevermore. Those with eyes to see, ears to hear. You gotta understand what's going on here. It's related. It reminded of the Hebrew word boshet, meaning shame. So ish boshet. So literally bullshit. So ish is man. A man who's full of who's bullshit is a man of shame. Boshet. It's not a coincidence. I excuse my French, only because it's actually Hebrew. Acrobushia, foreskin. Ew. Akron, pointy end. Akron, Ohio. That was the only one that got a Freemasonic temple when that Freemason president, President Harding, he was an open Freemason. They wanted 24, just like the 24 thrones in Revelation, and only one got approved. It was in Akron, Ohio. And the guy was like, "Shake, there's a temple in Akron." They erupted into wild dance, according to onlookers. Shameful extremity, speaking of. Okay. Stiff necks, hardened hearts. This all has to do with this whole situation. Just remember that. All these words. Dramatic momentum, story, and cliche-ish. Closely similar. Number 6. Ooh. So this is related to it. Shush and white, because that's alabaster is white. 6. It's a hex. So the star that they try to attribute to David, it's actually Star of Remphan, and it's trying to bind all. It's not all the dimensions becoming one in you. It's you binding the other dimensions and having it and using them. It's an evil thing. So that's what the Star of Remphan is. White haired. Who got it first? The white haired. To exalt or rejoice. Sis literally means to exalt or rejoice. So sister, sistha is to mark the boundary of exalting or rejoicing. That's why dad is actually Dod. It means beloved. Mom is ma. Ma is what or who. What's the first thing you say when you're a baby? Ma. Is it because it's your mom? Partly. What does your mom say to you when you're born? What? Look who it is. Who is it? Ma. Can't make this stuff up. Cairo is to rejoice. Charis. Charity. Collective joy. Libanos means frankincense. I wonder if liberals bathe in frankincense. Okay, so that we can't smell their nastiness. Laban means to become white. Literally, to be more liberal is to become more white. Pride or stupidity, because you reflect light. It can mean because no people are white or black. Remember that. Lebanon means the moon. So, what cycles go by the moon? Menstruation. What got messed up by the thing of the happening? Menstruation cycles. Even has to do with that in the words. Or Smyrna, which is related to alabaster, because it's related to the same things. So let's keep going. Wait a minute. Associated with fire. Oh no, fire heavens. Copper, white, chalk. Chalk is like. Okay, I'm sweating a lot. Aroma. Arrow, lift up to carry away. Join or fight. All these things are manifesting in this. Come on. Aroma. Nardos. Oh, this is where it gets kind of funny. Nardos is nard, right? And it's an aromatic oil that was just extracted from plants by beating and crushing them, particularly their spikes. So when you say I got kicked in the nards, it's like a double negative, because, or whatever it's called, because you're saying your nards are you kicked me in my crushedness. So it's like you're calling it what happened to it. You kicked me in my nards. And let's see, nerd also means nard. Nerd. So nerd would translate as beaten or extraction. What happens to nerds? They get beaten or they get extracted. They do your homework for you if you're the one beating them. You shouldn't be the one doing that, but nerds, the candy, what happens when you chew, beat, or extract? What happens when you chew them? The fragrance is released and also the sweetness. Can't make this up. Radad means beat or spread into a protective covering. Radar. Yarad is to go down. So to go down, beat, spread into a protective covering. Both those words together are radar. Muron is costly ointment. So now we call someone a moron if they do something dumb. But remember, that was the viewpoint of the Pharisee, was that something dumb happened by wasting the costly ointment. So when you say moron for someone that's dumb, that's not right. Muron just means costly ointment. You're calling them expensive. You're calling them rich. So Smyrna means myrrh. So this is all, and it's a tying together. Smir means to smear or anoint. So smear, Smyrna, is a nice smear. My mother made it. Okay, Shemiramoth means grease or butter. I'm buttering you up, greasing you up to cook you, to eat you. Do you understand? I'm not claiming nobody's going to eat anybody. I'm trying to tell you what these words mean. Sierra is very interesting, but I won't get on that. Smyrna could easily be constructed from more, meaning myrrh. Spice up. What are they spicing it up with? Myrrh. Supposedly, the people who took it are now starting to smell really bad, so they're releasing an odor. That's just what they're saying. This is what's very interesting, actually. This word smyrnizo, so Smyrna, this is the SMYRNA, Smyrna. It's rare in the New Testament. It occurs in Mark 15:23 only in a description of what the crucified Messiah was given to drink, which he refused. Remember that clip I showed a long time ago? The head of like CDC or something like that in like 2007 saying the refusers. He goes, I have a solution. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. That is a quote from a leader who was a leader of a CDC in like 2007 or something like that. It was this like red-haired, bowl-cut older lady. She looked like she was probably of somebody who claims they're a tribe of somebody else. But yes, he literally said that. That's my solution because whites seem to be most of the refusers. So we'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. And I don't know if she got dementia or something. And she just let that slip out. But she literally said that. I'm not kidding. So he refused the liquid commonly referred to as oxose, vinegar wine, basically stagnant water with just enough alcohol to kill all pathogens. It's an interesting thing to give him to sip on that he did not want to drink. So myrrh is proverbially expensive and not suited for consumption. So it's not literally the mixing of myrrh all the time. Sometimes it can just be how it works, or how the fragrance is released. Sperma is Smyrna, sperma. They're related. It means seed. Human seed is carried within an alabaster white liquid. So facts. Holy Spirit becomes effective only once death completely inundates the receiver, merges with him, and changes his core constitution from a physical being to a social being. So it's talking about dying and becoming a new being. Man. I'm like a thief in the night. Like a thief in the night. Well, that's about the end of that. I mean, I challenge anybody to try to refute the things I'm saying because I can't. I can't find something against myself. This is crazy. I talk about Trump and these words and stuff. The next day, stuff manifests, and literally the words themselves are manifesting. I don't know how exactly to say that, but how to explain that. But I will leave you guys with this, that I'll give you a hint that there's something I said I would do years ago that I didn't get around to do because I moved. That's actually the first reason. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play a video game because I don't like video games. But this one, I wanted to use it to um, get my mind to think of different etymologies and like speak, because this game is really good, has really good metaphors for society and when it falls away and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I don't know, just whenever. And the next time we'll probably be playing that Metroid thing. Here's uh, a little preview here, and I got the second one actually too. So if it's successful enough, then I'll do the second one. So with that, I will start the music and bring this to an end. And that's a hint from the last episode. I'm gonna be, I don't know, I'm tired, I'm hot. I'm gonna turn this air conditioner on. Baruch Hashem Yehaval Shaddai. Baruch Hashem Ben Elohim Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen, amen.